Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Stephen Snows and I'm very thankful and grateful to be talking about this men's group offering that I'm going to be launching. I have plenty of information on my website, but the intention of this video is to go a little bit deeper than what the words describe, and that way you can get a better understanding of this offering as well as you can get a better feel for my energy. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to go to any of my social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, reach me at my email, or you can go to my website, awakeningsourcewithin.com. There I have a contact me page where we can connect via messaging, or you can book a 30-minute complimentary consultation. There we can dive down any topics not covered in this video or that's not on the website, or we can go deeper down something. My intention is to make this video as short as possible, so I have my notes here with me today to keep me in flow and to kind of keep me organized as we go. The first section of my offering is titled What This Is, and this is the group intention, why this container is created. And ultimately, this is a sacred space for men to come to heal, to balance, to harmonize, to cultivate a greater sense of inner well-being, to step further into presence, and to step more fully into masculinity. Now, what I mean by that is we all understand and know there is feminine energy within us, there is masculine energy within us, and then there's the child energy within us. This creates a Trinity Codex, and when embodied and balanced within us, while simultaneously releasing these outdated, false patriarchal, out of balance masculine ways that have been present for us for so many years, now you're able to step into a fuller embodiment and expression of masculinity. The next section is going to be titled How It Works. We're going to be connecting for 9 weeks. Each week we'll be covering a particular subject. In that week, there are 2 days we're going to connect. The first day is going to be sharing tools, daily practices, practical wisdom, and of course there's going to be option to further expand for a Q&A. But then the next day of that week that we connect, it's going to be tailored around forecasting. We're going to be sharing how our journey is going. We're going to be able to dive deeper down any Q&A. And this is important because as we naturally attune our inner worlds, our external worlds and realities shift, and so much can come up for us. And as we go to the places and spaces that we haven't been through, we might be experiencing things that we cannot understand. And so to have a sacred container of like-hearted men who are going through the same thing, to be able to share with you their wisdom and their perspectives, it's going to be very assisting to navigate the unknown with grace and ease. It's important to know that this will be taking place live in Tampa, Florida. And if you can't make it, whether it's due to work schedule, for vacations, or if it is because you live in a different state or country, no worries. Everything is going to be live streamed online, and you will have access to all of the recordings in your library. So whether you miss it or you can't make it for whatever reason, or perhaps if you feel like you got a lot out of a particular week, you can go back to it and rewatch it as many times as you want. As we know, every time you rewatch something, reread something, you're at a new state of consciousness, so you're always going to get more from the particular subject. The next section is going to be exploring sacred sexuality. Now, there are infinite facets to every subject. And although we're going to be covering a lot of different aspects to this particular subject, we're going to be emphasizing on the foundation of sacred sexuality. Now, the foundation of sacred sexuality for me, I'm going to share a personal journey, and then this is going to tie into how I would describe that. So if you're like me, your only reference to the bedroom has been watching porn or speaking to someone who's watched porn and then apply that to the bedroom. And now since then, I've understand and come to realize how that's detrimental for myself and for my relationships. But we had to start somewhere, right? And then that naturally evolved into learning positions and different techniques and understanding the woman's anatomy, knowing how long to do something for and where to do it and all that. And that's all beautiful. Everything in our journey is purposeful. But what that did is it created a it created a performance experience. And this is one of those outdated masculine traits, if you will, that in order to be a man, you need to perform well in bedroom. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be savvy in the bedroom, but I'm saying it's the energy behind it. It's now you are in your mind, you're going into the experience trying to perform, trying to prove yourself as a man, that you can last a certain length of time, that you can do certain things in the bedroom. And again, as beautiful as that experience is, the foundation that I've talked about of sacred sexuality is we're going to come back to our hearts. We're going to come back to our breath. We're going to come back to present. We're going to come back to connecting with our partner or our partners, just depending on your lifestyle. And it's within there that all of that wonderful information and the knowledge that you've acquired can be organically expressed. The breath moves the motion. It really ignites and shows you which position to go to and where to touch and for how long to go. And it becomes this beautiful flow with you and your partner or your partners that really transcends any experiences you have in the bedroom. And the foundation also consists of cultivating greater self-love and cultivating emotional intimacy, which therefore creates greater clarity in all of your relationships, most importantly, the relationship with yourself. And so this extends beyond the bedroom and extends beyond your relationship with your significant other. It extends to your friends, your colleagues, your family members, and so forth. So this is a beautiful and important subject, and this one, as of right now, feels like it's going to be something that's going to be extended for more than the week. And just a little preface on how the flow of everything goes is that my intention is always to show up to be the best of myself, to be a clear conduit and expression to assist you for your highest and best interest. So the way that works is that I connect with my higher self as my higher self to your higher selves, and it's a group collective co-creation. So there might be subjects that I had no conscious awareness of that will be added to the curriculum, if you will. Maybe some will be taken out, and also we will all collectively decide on whether a particular subject needs to be expanded on or if a week is good enough. Moving on to the next section, we have what you may experience. Now, this is there's never a one size fits all. I can't tell you exactly what you'll experience. Even if we all showed up and put the same amount of time in, we participated in the same tools and so forth, based on many things, but very simply put, our unique blueprint and our circumstances around us, we're all going to take from it and perceive of it differently. So I'm going to share a few things listed of some low-hanging fruits, and it's important to understand that it's not confined to these as well, and perhaps you might experience something that is not mentioned, and that's the beauty of the second day of the connection, where we get to share the unfolding of our journey, because it's going to be a beautiful symbiotic teach, learn, teach experience, and we can help each other and grow and navigate things that we have not consciously experienced in this lifetime. So there's going to be releasing of survival-based behaviors and trauma. The survival-based behaviors is going to be touched on in many subjects, but going back to the sacred sexuality, a lot of us are operating in our lower chakras. And in this particular subject, we're going to understand and learn how to connect to these the upper chakras. We're going to understand what that looks like, and that's largely kept to the sexual energy being expressed in a habitual manner, a compulsive manner, and a survival or a primal instincts type of an experience. And as the chakras continue to be aligned and the energy starts to flow, we start to have greater awareness of where we can express our energy, whether it's through intuition, we can tap into the all-knowing within ourselves, etc. So I went off a little on tangent, but that just goes to show that's one area where we're going to be releasing survival-based behaviors. And then the other part of this is trauma, right? Whether it's through childhood up until the present moment, right? We all have some sort of trauma. Even just incarnating into Earth, there's already a sort of a PTSD, and we'll dive down that in the men's group offering. But we're going to have awarenesses of where this trauma is, which trauma is ours, which trauma is passed down through maternal or paternally, which traumas are ancestral, and implement and understand the tools on how to transmute that to receive the gifts from the traumas, and so that way we can shift of no longer identifying as them. And the next thing we can be experiencing is the restoration of our emotional intelligence and our ability to express ourselves. Again, being immersed for me in Army ROTC, being immersed in sports, being immersed in the gym life, being immersed in your typical bro circles, you are often taught that to tough it out, that men don't cry, that expressing yourself is a form of weakness, and all of this is just a suppression of our feminine aspect of who we truly are. So we get acquainted and learn how to do this again, and we take a bigger look at how that has manifested, the suppressing of that energy, and how in other ways and how to express ourselves. The next thing is chakra alignment. This is a beautiful, as I mentioned, just in the sacred sexuality portion. When you start to align your chakras, you start to have your energy flow and move, and you start to be able to tap into other expressions of life. And this is important because the energy that's within us extends way beyond sacred sexuality. It affects the organs, it affects your mental health, it affects your emotional health, it affects all aspects of your life, your work life, how competent everything is. So the alignment of the chakras and the mastery of your energy will equate to a greater sense of success, inner well-being, inner love, and so much and so forth within yourself and without yourself. And then reconnection with your inner purpose and energy alignment. This is, once again, the more you attune to who you truly are, you come into your authentic expression, the more that you are in flow of synchronistic opportunities, whether it is people speaking and saying the thing you need to hear. Maybe it is you have circumstances where you have the ability to do something that you know in your heart you should be doing, but for whatever fear-based or societal norm you have not acted upon. This naturally leads you down the path of greater clarity of your blueprint and what you're meant to experience here, whether you want to call this your purpose. This all naturally leads to greater clarity in all areas of your life. And then establishing a heart and mind coherence. This is another section where we're going to be spending more than a week on. We're going to be going into the function of the mind and the limitations and the beauty of being in the mind, and then also the infinite nature and the limitless expression of being in the heart center, and the importance of the mind and heart coherence and tools on how to cultivate this. And ultimately what this does, and at the core of outdated and out of balance masculine expression, is that you are identified as the ego. And the more that you are in your heart, the more you can release identifying as the ego. And again, we'll learn how to do that. We learn how to identify what is egoic programming and learn the tools and wisdom that we can apply in actual moment-to-moment experiences, so that way we can redirect our energy from identifying as the ego to coming back into our core essence and operating as our higher self. And then the last two topics, the next one is why this journey? we're at a pivotal moment in humanity's history. This is a shift, in a collective shift in consciousness. And so we are all one. What I do affects the collective. What you do affects the collective. And I know when you hear that, you might be thinking, how does working on myself affect what's going on in the Middle East, or what's going on in Africa, and so on and so forth. This is a very broad subject, and to keep this short and simple to understand, when you start to attune to your inner world, first and foremost, you start to no longer be reactive. You start to no longer be compulsive. You start to move through situations that would otherwise trigger you or take you off your center point. You start to be able to be neutral and 0 point through it all. And now you start to exude a particular energy. And now your intimate circle, whether it's your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones, your kids, and so forth, they start to see that. And just by your embodiment, it inspires them. Perhaps this manifests them asking you, hey, what are you doing? Or provides you an opportunity to share some wisdom. But ultimately, it allows them and inspires them to start to be their authentic expression and go down that whichever avenue and pathway that most resonates with them. And then for them and their intimate circle, and so on and so forth. So you can see this is a domino effect that eventually shifts everything. And so going back to this collective shift in consciousness, another way you can put it is we're going to be experiencing in our lifetime a new earth. And I quote this because, we'll dive more into that in the men's group. And so this new earth, the more we hone in and focus on our authentic expression, and the more that we are attuning to that, and the more the collective is doing that, there's sort of like collective critical mass in which that it greatly and significantly affects the speed in which we are able to perceive this new earth manifest. And simply put, this means these systems that have been put in place, whether it's governmental, medical, the food industry, and so many other things, if they're still around, now they'll be aligned with our new state of consciousness, one that we're attuning to, right? Unconditional love, neutrality, forgiveness, compassion, abundance, transparency, and so much more. The next section is going to be how to prepare for this. And to me, this is the most important section, because it doesn't matter who you're listening to, what textbooks you're reading, what information you're receiving, there is always 99% beyond what you can perceive being experienced. And so if you can show up releasing expectations and attachments, being present and being open, now you're able to tune into everything beyond what you can perceive consciously. And again, this is important not only for our time together, but this is a beautiful skill to be able to tune into the subtle layers and levels of the world, whether you're at a sacred site, whether you're tuning to nature, whether you're tuning into your own intuition, whether you're tuning into someone else's well-being. Your ability to show up, to be present, and to experience something anew is the key to how much you can attune to the subtle energies of life. And this is important because maybe you've never heard anything that I've expressed thus far, and you're new to this path. And you hear all these things and you're excited and you create these expectations and attachments. Let that go. Or maybe you're someone who has been on this journey before, and you're hearing and you're watching this video and you think, I already know about unconditional love, I know about self-love, I know about the heart center, I'm good. And again, you're limiting yourself because everything in existence is always creating anew. There's infinite expressions of everything. And so to let that all go, just to show up and be present, you'll be surprised on what you will receive beyond the wisdom you've already received. And this, again, it trickles out to all facets of your life. The more you can be in this state, the more you can be in a place of wonder and and you will no longer have experiences of feeling bored. A lot of this comes from being in the mind and already creating conclusions on what reality is. I know I was diverging a little bit there, and we'll dive into that in the men's group offering as well. But I just wanted to try to paint a picture for you all of the significance of showing up, being present, and just remaining open. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I'm so excited and looking forward to connecting with those of you who are feeling called and feeling in their hearts that this is something that you're wanting to experience. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to go to my website, awakeningsourcewithin.com, or reach me at any of my other social media platforms. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you and to further dive down anything. And with that being said, I'm sending you guys all so much love, and I'm wishing you an amazing rest of your evening, your day, your morning, wherever you're at in the world. Bye for now.